I am on, and I think the only person on the stage.
I think I'm the only person on the stage.
I'm the only one. Fuck all of them. Good morning. Well, that's when I'm making the video. It's Friday the 13th of September. 13 is a powerful number. I was happy when I discovered the truth of the number 13. It was misaligned on purpose because of its power. Look into it. There's nothing unlucky about the number 13. Okay, so I got up thinking, let me talk to a couple of you folks. This is interactive, and I do appreciate that some of you folks are regular viewers. I appreciate you all. I notice I've never seen you make a video on here, but I noticed that through your posts that you watch my videos, Tony Vega. So I'm shouting out Tony Vega. Tony. I don't remember the name, but someone asked me about Steve Albini. And I thought, well, I'll answer that, you know. I don't have any more Steve Albini. Well, I'll show you the one I have left, but I had a big black phase, and that came and went pretty quick. I think that Steve Albini, being as opinionated as he is, captures people's attention, and that's part of why we know about who he is. Do I think he's an exceptional producer and engineer? Frankly, no. I think that he just records what's happening in the room, and he says so, you know. The one thing I do have, I used to have some big black records. I had songs about fucking, and I sold it. I had another one. I had a Wakeman. Tried to get into it. I couldn't get into it. I have this shellac. What is it? 1,000 Blows. It's damaged. That's why I have it, because I was able to get this for $1. Apparently, a shipment of records fell out of a truck and got damaged. And this was one of them. And so I went ahead and got it for $1, but I'll show you. And it's okay that it's like this. So the record's busted, but that's in there, and you get a CD of the music. So there's only about 1 minute of this that I think that's any good, where the band gels into a portion of a song that really hits hard and good. For the most part, I do not like the brittle sound that he goes for with guitar. I don't care for it. And then apparently what he's talking about is supposed to be of some importance in relation to the music being made. Again, it means nothing to me because for the most part I don't like the music. When I first heard Big Black, I thought something was happening there. It's like Big Black needed to happen. And Steve Albini has done important work, so there you go. I know who he is. Right quick, back to FPE Records, Matt Pekulski's label. I had briefly mentioned this when he sent it to me. William Hooker, Cycle of Restoration. I've listened to almost all this now, and this is really excellent. For Practically Everyone Records is another label that's doing interesting things. This is really, really good ambient. It's ambient. It reminds me of, not reminds me of, but a touch point is John Hassell. You know, the trumpeter John Hassell. Amazing musician. This is very good. Very atmospheric. William Hooker, Cycle of Restoration. Check this out. I'm going to shout out James Drummond over in England. I see where, James, you picked up on and bought some discus releases, well, as you can hear with your own ears, it's a great label. Martin is putting out some really quality, important music. So there's that, and then a little discussion on Depeche Mode happened. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. I think it was earlier this year or late last year, where I posted a video where I'm playing my cover version of Behind the Wheel by Depeche Mode. I love that song. And sometimes it'll happen to me. I'll just like something so much, it's like I have to make a version of it. So I did that. It's on a video earlier this year, I'm pretty sure. I never got to see Depeche Mode, but I like them. The conversation ended up also including the. I don't know if I've ever talked about the, but I like, yes I have. I've mentioned the because the was Matt Johnson. And I have the original pressing of Matt Johnson's first solo album, Burning Blue Soul, on 4AD. I think a lot of people are used to the blue cover. This is the original on 4AD, and yeah, I bought it when it came out. I was all over 4AD. Once I became aware of the label, I just loved it and tried to buy anything I could get on the label. I haven't kept all those records, damn it, I wish I had. I had some early cool stuff. I had Rema Rema. I sold it. But this is an excellent album. And I still like this more than most of the. I like the. I've seen them. I saw the in Minneapolis, but I saw them on the tour after Johnny Marr was out of the band, so I didn't see that. When I saw the, they were disappointing. It wasn't a good night. But in mentioning the and early days of Depeche Mode, they came to my attention through a label by a guy named Steve-O, I think was his name, Some Bizarre. So I grabbed the, like I said, right away. I think this is their second single, Cold Spell Ahead. And I think there's one other single before this, but this is early, before he signed to a major label, and it's on the Some Bizarre label. And I like this too. I don't play the much, and when I do, I usually choose this. I have more the records. I do. And CDs. I pulled this one to show. This is a limited edition version of their album Dusk. This is a good album. Infected is really good too. I think that was their breakthrough album. But this is the collector's item edition where it has this pink box. It's not the usual see-through box. And it also has the stencil. Isn't that cool? And a sticker, which I have not used. And I don't think I will. I think I'll just keep everything together. It's a dust sticker. There's a lot that I don't know about. But compared to a lot of people, I just watched some more videos yesterday. I seem to know something because every other video, people are showing this, what to me seem to be the same records. I keep seeing Led Zeppelin. I keep seeing Pink Floyd. I keep seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan. No offense, but wow. That's why I don't watch so many videos. Someone asked me about making my CD covers. Well, it's real easy. It really is. You use iTunes, go to print, and it'll give you a menu. I use the white template setting, print it out, and then you have to draw where your flaps are going to be. And then I cut them and paste them. They come out good because I want them nice because because it's fun. So I just made a few these last couple of days because I got some printer ink. You know, got my Social Security check, which I'm really proud of. Never was on government assistance as an adult. When I quit my job, I made it through my music and art and through the help of friends, but never government assistance. Churchills, you know, this psych band, rock band. I'd have to look it up where they're from. I think it's possibly Australia, but Churchills, I made a cover for that. I was reading about some obscure German records, and this was one I had not heard. Association, who became Association PC, as in Pierre Courbois. This one is called Earwax. This is really dynamite. Toto Blanc, also on guitar. I have an Association PC album later, but I had not heard this. I think this is the first one. Wild and jazzy. Another German band. I have one of their albums, but not this one. So I wanted Out of Focus with horns. This is cool stuff. You know, you can stream stuff. You can hear everything. You can stream it. You can get it through file sharing. But it's more fun when there's an object to observe, look at, interact with. So that's why I do this when I'm in the mood. Hero. I forget the story about this album, but this is a pretty cool album if you don't know it. Hero. Prog, I guess you'd call it. And then I have one of their other albums on actual vinyl, but this one I didn't. Gomorrah with Trauma. I like that cover in particular. The album's just okay, but I wanted to, I have fun with it. So, you know, you can do this, you know, and it says it right there, you know, iTunes, made with iTunes, printed with iTunes. So the way you make them nice is up to you, you know, it's up to your craftsmanship, you know, how well you cut and fold and paste, you know. I like them, so I make them nice. A couple things, I'll do a poll, but I'm going to show some things I played recently. The Dutch band The Outsiders, led by a guy named Wally Tax. This is a reissue. Their album CQ, which bombed when it came out. I don't know why. This is really good. It's edgy rock. You know, there's elements of psychedelia. There's sound exploration on here. There's a variety of moods on here. Edgy rock songs as well as the quiet ballad songs are really good. The Outsiders. I mean, this really ought to be known about. This is really good. Made in 1968 or 69. The Outsiders, CQ, Dutch band. I've had this for the longest time and never got all the way through it. I do like the guy, mainly his first solo album. So I played this yesterday. White Rock by Rick Wakeman, and just a whole lot of this is really, really corny. Cornier than hell. You know, and then there's a couple of parts on here that are good. I know that Rick Wakeman has quite a sense of humor, and he likes to party, he likes to drink. To me, that comes through in the music, why it doesn't have more weight where it could. It doesn't have to, but that's my observation about Rick Wakeman and a lot of his work. You can tell he likes to party, you know, he's a good time boy, but he can play, you know, he's got chops. So, this is a shitty album, actually. Six Wives of Henry VIII is, I love that album, still love it. Was listening to some more ECM stuff and actually started to make a list to see how many ECM records do I have. I'm up to about 170 that I can find so far, but like I say, I've got layers of music, and there's still records I know I have that I haven't found. I have a Soft Boys 45. I know I didn't sell it, but I can't find it. Sometimes it's frustrating. But I played this, Full Force by Art Ensemble of Chicago. And this has they have an aspect of humor and touching on roots in their music in a number of ways. I find that the way that the Art Ensemble uses humor is to pull you in, is to kind of lighten you up, and kind of, hey, it's okay, don't run away. And then before you know it, you're pulled into a whole nother world of sound and feelings. Art Ensemble of Chicago. Most excellent. Here's something that I know that I would see in the used records for years, and I don't know, I finally ended up with a copy. I'm not sure how, but this sucks. John Jarvis Evolutions 1. The big deal was that it was a supercut direct to disc recording. It's a piano album, and the guy can play, but it's not very compelling. Okay, so he can play, and he had the resources to make this album, but it's totally forgettable, completely forgettable. This is so bad that it's like, at this point, you can't even trade it, It's like you got to give that shit away to the Salvation Army, which is what I'm going to do. Here's one that was sent to me. I forget who sent it to me. When I first got it, I didn't really pay much attention to it. Played it yesterday, and this is not a blockbuster, but this is good. And again, when it comes to prog rock, I don't hear anything about this album in lists. I don't know why. Triangle. Viens avec nous. They're either French or Canadian. And this is nothing earth-shattering, but this is really good. It's primarily instrumental, and it's fresh. I really enjoyed this yesterday. It was like, okay, it's more than 4 people, but Triumvirate comes to mind. And I like this way better than Triumvirate. But Triumvirate get that spot where they're always listed, possibly because of the connection to Trace, I don't know. But I think this is worth finding. Triangle. Viens avec nous. Okay. So for the poll, let me go up, all right? My ankle's bugging me. What did we get? What did we get? I don't even recognize. Is that Cornelius? Yes, Drop by Cornelius. This is another 12-inch single. I heard from Dave saying that some 12-inch singles are of value in UK. That's neat to hear. I like Cornelius, and I got to see him with Yellow Magic Orchestra as one of the other musicians that they employed for the show at the Hollywood Bowl. His stuff is hot and cold for me. Some of his stuff I don't even like at all. Let me go up top again, all right? Back a little ways. Over here. I'm just grabbing. It's best to not look, because if I look, then I know. I kind of knew when I went over here that I was back into my Eno, and I just showed where someone sent me the remastered with extra tracks Apollo by Brian Eno. I just happened to pull this. I played this recently, so you saw me show this. Okay, let's go right here. I'll just go right here, okay. And I try to not so, because I kind of know what everything is, okay? Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane. 2 record set on, is this on Prestige or Milestone? Okay, so again, this is the repackaging of some recordings that they put out, I'm sure, on the label years earlier. Haven't played this in a while, but I do know these tracks. Nutty, Crepuscule with Nelly, Monk's Mood. I love both Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane. True masters, giants, shapers of modern music. That can be said about both Monk and John Coltrane. They helped shape modern music. Okay. I'm always here. Those are my F's and G's and stuff. And so if I go up here, what am I getting into here? Is this my E's? What are we in? Ah, yes, it is my E's. Everclear. So much for the Afterglow. Now, the reason why I have the Everclear records is because the drummer, Greg Eklund, is my friend. Now, he just moved to Minneapolis. But when he was in Omaha for a time, his wife sought me out because she wanted her husband, Greg, to find musicians to work with. And the name that kept coming up, mentioned to her, was me. You know, get a hold of, find Dereck. And we hit it off. Greg and I hit it off well, and we did some recording, made a single together. We did some live performing. He was just in town with Storm Large a few months ago, and I was a guest of the band. The thing I'll say about Everclear is they started off on the real side, you know, on the punk side. And then they broke through and were able to have some hits. I know the whole story through Greg about Alex and the fairly typical story of the front man losing his sense of perspective and, oh, you know what I'm saying? Greg said when he left this band, he had to get out for his sanity and his life's sake. I'm glad that I never wanted false, fake fame, knowing as I would watch that it's not what it's cracked up to be. I've always known that I'm one of those people who has a sense of self that is large. You know, I'm cool, but fake fame, no, not interested in it. So over here, you can't see these records, but there's all these records here and these, and I'm going to replace those sagging crates here in the near future, or not too near future, now that I have an income. But let me just pull. I know exactly what's over here, but I'm going to just do this and pull and not look and see what did I pull. Thilo von Westernhagen and band Pleasureland. Okay, this is one of those kind of what I consider kind of a budget, ambient, new age label where they would find stuff and license it. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked, because there's a couple good albums on this label, but most of it is trash. And I just recently tried to trade some, and they wouldn't even take them, so those are going to the Salvation Army. This is a good one, but I'm going to have to play it because I don't remember exactly, but this is one where Thilo von Westernhagen and band, Pleasureland. I remember this being pretty decent. There you go. I'm going to stop there, okay? Leave comments, people. I enjoy them. I do.